Hello everyone, this is Josh Vision, and I'm here to give my Vikings Season 5B Episode 20 review, the season finale. So, we start off this episode with Bjorn, Visick, Harold, and Olaf, overseeing the city of Kattegat. They notice that Ivar has prepared for them. He has everything all well and ready. And I believe Olaf is still nervous. Like I believe in the previous episode, he heard stories about how Ivar is like a force of nature, and how basically how intelligent he is, and he really doesn't want to mess with Ivar. So he tries to, at least attempt to convince Bjorn and Visick and Harold to try to negotiate a compromise or something with Ivar. And Bjorn and Visick like, there's no point. You can't negotiate with Ivar. We're just gonna have to go to war with them. So after that, we have this interesting tale, being spoken by Olaf, with Bjorn and Gunhild and Visick and Harold and company listening, and Magnus, to the stories about Ragnarok, the wolf eating Odin, and all that. So after that, we have this interesting conversation with Ivar and Freydis, and Ivar is really, sad. He's basically trying to tell Freydis, listen, I'm sorry for what I did to our child. Can you forgive me? Can you possibly forgive me? And Freydis yeah, I forgive you. But, it seemed convincing, but when you look in her eyes, you're just like, nah, there's no way. There's no way. You know what I mean? You could tell that she was up to something. So after that, we have Ivar basically preparing himself, for war against Bjorn. It was this epic scene. Ivar is on top of, the fortress, and he sees Bjorn with so many warriors, and Bjorn just turns around, just staring a hole at Ivar, and Ivar staring one right back at him. The battle was kind of a landslide. Ivar was 3 steps ahead, no matter what was happening, whether it was the first gate where Bjorn and Gunhild was at, or it was the second gate where Visick, Olaf, and Harold was at. He had them all he had everything figured out. He killed so many other people, seriously. At one point, he had Bjorn trapped, and it's just a miracle that Bjorn was able to escape. So Bjorn escaped. He told Gunhild to tell everybody to retreat, and we have this really interesting scene in which Bjorn is saying that I am not your enemy. I grew up with most of you. I fought alongside most of you. Ivar's the enemy. Ivar's all about himself and is a tyrant. And I was like, no, I'm not a tyrant. I'm here for all of you. I'm trying to protect you. And then he says, kill him. And what's funny about it, no one decided to shoot at Bjorn. They hesitated. To the point that Ivar got so frustrated, he took one of the bowman's arrows and tried to shoot at Bjorn. And Bjorn got the shot up right at the right time, and stopped it, from penetrating. So Ivar was kind of shocked by that. And after that, we have this scene basically with Olaf telling Bjorn and company, listen, Ivar's too much for us. He thinks of every possible scenario in his head and has a counter for it. We're not going to be able to get into that place. It's too well fortified, and he's just a freaking genius. And he's just as much a son of Ragnar as you, Bjorn, and Visick. So after that, we see Freydis on the throne, and we see Ivar drinking and enjoying himself with the people of Kattegat. And I'm looking at her, and she seems to be angry and frustrated, but calm. So we see her literally go meet up with Bjorn and them. She tells them the weak spots of Ivar's defenses. And she tells Visick that Thor died. Ivar burned her alive. And that he killed their son. Even though it wasn't their son, but whatever. Point is this. She told Bjorn, the enemy, the secrets. And they literally the next morning, they went inside Kattegat, and they just kicked everybody's tail, seriously. And before that, I believe Bjorn and Gunhild had sex, and Gunhild said, let's make a child or put a baby into me, something yeah. So it wasn't that big a deal. It just came to my memory just now. But besides that, while they're fighting, Bjorn, Visick, and Finehair are finally able to like get to like really close to Ivar. Like the only reason why they weren't able to stab Ivar right in the stomach because Ivar had his little, he had his like probably 100 soldiers like right in front of him. You know, that's his protection. So Bjorn yells out, "Ivar!" And Ivar just like, just, just looking at him, just like, come on, bring it. So Bjorn is like fighting them off along with Visick and Harold and Gunhild. And Ivar is thinking in his head like, yo, there's no way in hell they should have been able to outthink me and figure out how to get in. You know? So that's when Ivar just like did this. And then he just started walking, told his right hand man, hey, come with me. And then Ivar's like, listen, Freydis, I know it was you that betrayed me. And Freydis like, yes, I did. And it seemed like she thought she was going to get forgiven. And then all of a sudden, Ivar just chokes the freak out of her. He just chokes the life out of her. And while he's saying it, while he's doing it, he's like, listen, I'll mourn you when the time comes. But for now, I got to finish you off. So it was a very intense scene. The music was really sad. You could tell Ivar did not enjoy what he did. So after that, we have Bjorn and Visick and Harold able to fight off Ivar's men. Harold saves Bjorn. Matter of fact, he takes the sword to the stomach, for it. Bjorn and Visick come into the Great Hall, and they go into Ivar and Freydis' room. They see Freydis dead on the bed, looking like Sleeping Beauty, honestly. She looks so peaceful. And the skull of their dead baby. So Bjorn and Visick are really like angry about this, especially Bjorn. Bjorn cries, I believe. After that, we have Lytha give Bjorn the Sword of Kings, since Bjorn's the new king of Kattegat. Ubba comes with Torvi, and Ubba, when he sees Visick, he gives him a look like, I'm still mad at you, And after that, at the end of the episode, we have Ivar looking like a character from Mortal Kombat, with his eyes angry, frustrated. I think he's on a wagon, one of his men, like, pushing him through. One of his men gave him a knife. Ivar put that knife in one of those, like, bags, whatever he had. And the look of determination on his eyes is like, yo, I'm going to get this. I'm going to get these people back. So that's all I got, you guys. Thank you guys for watching. I can't wait for Season 6. Adios.